For me, the most annoying part about CAN bus is having to use cables to connect the ECUs. This is especially annoying whenever you're trying to debug something on the network and you have to physically plug in your PCAN-USB dongle to the network itself. It would be so much easier if there was a wireless solution so you didn't have to physically connect anything. That's when I came up with the idea to spoof a PCAN-USB dongle and then add Bluetooth support. That means you can debug anything on the CAN network as long as you're in Bluetooth range. It also means that you no longer have to physically buy a PCAN-USB dongle, which costs like $300. The hardware that I use costs about $16. Going a step further, you can actually redirect the COM port over the internet. That would allow you to use PCAN Explorer and any other CAN tool to debug an ECU anywhere in the world. This project is actually in 3 different parts. The first part is this gray suitcase with a USB port on it, and what that is just a simulated CAN bus over a CDC port. This will essentially be our ECU that we're debugging. The USB port is used because this device doesn't have a physical CAN bus. So when we plug in the USB port to a host computer and then open up a terminal, you can see it's just spitting out raw simulated CAN data. This data will eventually be decoded and then sent to PCAN Explorer. This essentially means that we're using PCAN Explorer and CAN bus with something that doesn't actually have a physical CAN bus. Each terminal message has a CAN bus ID, a length, and then the payload. So as it runs, it's just dumping in all the CAN data. The second part of this project uses a custom USB host to Bluetooth module that I made. It also has a physical CAN bus, and so instead of using the USB port, you could use an actual CAN bus device. So our terminal now shows the exact same thing as last time, but it's now using a virtual COM port over Bluetooth. It's important to remember that you can actually use a physical CAN bus, and so you're blasting physical CAN data over the Bluetooth network. In most cases, that's what would actually be used. It's just that my gray suitcase doesn't have a physical CAN bus. The third and most important part of this project is this little whiteboard that's plugged into the laptop. Essentially what this does is it uses a COM port from the laptop, it deciphers data, and then it pushes it over a PCAN-USB interface. When plugged in, it actually enumerates as a PCAN-USB device because I reverse engineered the protocol. PCAN Explorer actually doesn't know that it's talking to an unauthentic PCAN dongle. In short, it acts as a COM port to PCAN Explorer bridge. But when you put it all together, it means that you can use PCAN Explorer over Bluetooth with a device that doesn't even have a CAN bus. So here we're using PCAN Explorer to debug the briefcase ECU, which is about 150 feet outside. To the user, it's invisible, and you essentially look like you plug in a PCAN dongle to a physical CAN bus network. In reality though, that device doesn't even have to speak CAN, and it can also be anywhere.